Imagine a world where the sky is thought to be held up by a god, where nature is ruled by myth, and human behavior is still a mystery. Into this world, over 2,300 years ago, a boy was born who would question everything, and in doing so, would build the intellectual foundation for the Western world. This is the story of Aristotle, the philosopher who taught kings, dissected reality, and dared to ask, what makes a good life? What is truth? What is the purpose of everything that exists? Chapter 1. The boy from Stagira. Aristotle was born in 384 BCE in a small town called Stagira, in the northern part of ancient Greece. His father, Nicomachus, was a physician to the royal Macedonian court, a detail that would quietly shape Aristotle's mind. From an early age, he was surrounded by biology, observation, and the rhythm of cause and effect. But life wasn't destined to stay simple. Orphaned as a teenager, Aristotle left his home and journeyed to Athens, the intellectual heart of the world. There, he entered Plato's academy, the most prestigious school of its time. And so, under the long shadows of marble columns and in the presence of the legendary Plato, Aristotle studied philosophy for 20 years. But he was not content to merely agree. While Plato believed in ideal forms, perfect, abstract realities beyond the physical world, Aristotle believed the truth was here, in front of us, in the soil, in the stars, in the body, and in the city. He was not just a philosopher. He was an observer, a scientist, a realist. Chapter 2. The Philosopher and the Prince. After Plato's death, Aristotle left Athens and eventually found himself in the kingdom of Macedon. There, he became the tutor of a young boy who would one day be known as Alexander the Great. Think about that. The greatest philosopher of the ancient world mentoring the greatest conqueror in history. One shaped the mind, the other shaped empires. For 3 years, Aristotle taught Alexander about ethics, politics, and the natural world. He instilled in him a sense of inquiry, of logic, and perhaps a touch of restraint, though history would show how wild ambition often resists wisdom. Chapter 3. The Lyceum. A new way of thinking. Around the age of 49, Aristotle returned to Athens and founded his own school, the Lyceum. Unlike Plato's academy, the Lyceum was a walking school. Aristotle and his students strolled through colonnades and gardens, discussing life's greatest questions. His method? Observation, classification, dialogue. Aristotle believed in understanding the world through what we can see and touch, but interpreting it with logic and purpose. In this space, he would produce a body of work that touches nearly every field we know today. Chapter 4. Teachings that changed the world. Aristotle's teachings were vast, but let's focus on the core pillars of his philosophy. Logic, the art of thinking. Clearly, he invented formal logic, including the famous syllogism, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore, Socrates is mortal. This structure of reasoning became the foundation for both science and philosophy for centuries. Ethics. The golden mean. Aristotle believed virtue lies between extremes. Courage, for example, is the balance between cowardice and recklessness. He wasn't searching for divine commandments. Instead, he asked, how should a good person live in the real world? His answer: by cultivating habits of virtue and living with purpose. Politics. Man as a political animal. Aristotle said, man is by nature a political animal. He believed the purpose of the state was not just to control, but to help citizens live a virtuous and fulfilling life. He analyzed constitutions of 158 different cities to understand what makes governments succeed or fail. His conclusion? A balanced government that serves the common good is best. Metaphysics, the study of being. He asked, what is existence? What does it mean to be? He developed the concept of substance, the underlying reality of things, and introduced the idea of the unmoved mover, a divine force that causes motion without itself being moved. This became an early concept of God in Western thought. The four causes, explaining reality. Aristotle believed everything can be understood by asking 4 questions. What is it made of? Material cause. What is its form or structure? Formal cause. Who or what made it? Efficient cause. What is its purpose? Final cause. Purpose, for Aristotle, was central. Everything has an end goal, a telos. 6. Biology and natural sciences. Aristotle dissected animals, studied plants, and created detailed classifications of living things. In a time before microscopes, he identified over 500 species with remarkable accuracy. He wasn't just thinking, he was doing science. Rhetoric and poetics, the power of language and art in rhetoric. He explored persuasion, how people are, moved not just by logic but by emotion and character. In poetics, he analyzed tragedy and storytelling, laying the groundwork for how we still write plays, films, and novels. Chapter 5. Legacy and Influence. Aristotle died in 322 BCE, shortly after fleeing Athens due to anti-Macedonian sentiment. His final words are lost to time, but his ideas lived on. His works were lost for centuries, then rediscovered by Islamic scholars in the Middle Ages, and later translated into Latin. Through figures like Averroes, Avicenna, Thomas Aquinas, and Maimonides, Aristotle's ideas entered Christian, Islamic, and Jewish philosophy. He became known as the philosopher, as if no other name was needed. Even today, his fingerprints are everywhere. In science, where we seek evidence before belief. In politics, where we debate the common good. In ethics, where we strive to balance. In education, where the pursuit of knowledge remains sacred. Conclusion. The timeless mind. Aristotle was more than a thinker. He was a seeker of purpose. He believed the universe was intelligible, that by using reason and careful observation, we could not only understand the world, but improve it. In a time filled with gods and myths, he dared to believe in logic. In a world ruled by war and power, he taught virtue. In the chaos of life, he searched for meaning. So the next time you ask why, the next time you seek balance, or try to live a life of purpose, you are walking the path that Aristotle once walked, the path of wisdom, the path of wonder, the path of the philosopher. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle.